Hello, and thank you for joining me today. Well, this is the Monday, January 31st edition of our video devotionals, and we appreciate you being with us. This is indeed the last day of the month of January for this year, and then a new month starting tomorrow. And of course, it's Monday, so we call this Marvelous Monday, and back to school, back to work. And so I hope you've had a great weekend. I hope you was able to attend church. I hope you're doing well physically. If you're not, then I hope you get well soon. And we do appreciate you watching our videos with us. So our theme this year, of course, is reading through the Bible in 1 year's time, at the very least. And today we're going to be in Leviticus 11 through 13. That's where I have read already. And so I'm going to look at the very last verse of Leviticus 11 and just give you a thought today. Leviticus 11:47. So give you a chance to find that if it's your custom to get your Bible or look it up on smartphone or tablet, whatever you do. So again, thank you for all who watch these videos. Appreciate all the remarks and appreciate you that if it's a blessing to you, it's a blessing to me. And that's what it's all about. Okay, so the setting here in Leviticus 11 is about the clean animals or the unclean animals. We won't get into any of that, but interesting the different divisions and the different requirements and all the things that went with that. And then as we look here at the verse, it says, to make a difference between the unclean and the clean, and between the beast that may be eaten and the beast that may not be eaten. So we know that specifically is talking about the animals that could be eaten and could not be eaten, even to the point where to not touch them and all of that. But the most important statement here I want to point out today is to make a difference between those. And, we live in a day and age, and I'm going to liken this to right and to wrong, to make a difference between right and wrong. We live in a day, and we expect the world to do this, or at least we expect a world that is less respectful of God and the Bible. Where we live here specifically, and even in this country called America, we're not spoiled, but definitely we live in a time. We've lived in a place even where, the difference between right and wrong was pretty distinct. There was a line there and everybody knew it. But we're getting to a place like it has, you look in the Bible, you can look at societies, you can look at different places, read about them, in which right becomes wrong, wrong becomes right. And, the Bible speaks of this, of course, the digression and the deteriorating of in this case, the children of Israel. We see the history of that, and of course, any of the people around them. But the point I make is this difference between the two, and then you get to this idea where we as Christians, denominations, they have things. Well, this is okay to do, and others say no, it's not okay to do. You can realize all the discussions and even all the arguments that get into that. The first thing that needs to be realized is that God does make the distinction. God makes that distinction. In this case, these animals, God says these are the ones that's going to be clean to you, and these are going to be the ones that's unclean because I've declared it so. And that's the most important thing. And then the other thing is to make the difference between clean and unclean, the difference between right and wrong. And so, you look at society, some things now that used to be wrong, they're no longer wrong. And in fact, now they're right. It's not just the fact that they're not wrong anymore. Now it's right. They're encouraged to do certain things. So again, God determines that. And whatever has been wrong before, it's always been wrong. And whatever is right, it's always been right, of course. But to make that difference, to suddenly say, well, there's really no right or wrong to anything, and that's where things are becoming, where there is no difference. That's just sad to me. And we could give a lot of specifics. I don't need to. I think most of us, we hear these things. And if you're centered on the Bible, you attend a church that is a Bible-centered church, then you hear these things. And sometimes even the frustration may come out with a pastor and looking at society, especially if they have any age at all. I'm 57 years old, so I've lived long enough to see, as I used to hear other people say, well, when I was a kid, here's the way things went. Well, I do the same thing now. You'll do the same thing, or you're doing the same thing. And yet, at the same time, when you look at things, you say, okay, right, wrong, clean, unclean, permitted, not permitted. Is there a difference And here's what I say about people that have any type of standard at all. Everybody has a standard. Your standard may be lower than mine, as we use that terminology. Yours may be higher than my standard. You think about dress standards, but you know what? When you think about a standard, at least decent people at least have a standard, and we may argue over the extent of it, whether it's to what extent we would go with a standard, as I use that term. But for someone to say, "Oh, we don't need any standards at all," then this is where you see societies, especially in the past, where they just digress to the point of they destroy themselves, and we don't want to do that. So, as people of God, of course, the Bible gives us the standards. It does, and the world should not determine the children of God's standards. God has determined that, and we've lived in a country where there was such an emphasis of God and people that at least respected it, if didn't follow it. At least there was this, you saw this difference between the right and wrong, and people would respect it whether they lived that or not. But we're seeing a time, and I guess every society has gone through this cycle, I suppose, is that when you get to the point though where wrong is no longer wrong, and everything now is right. Well, there has to be a difference. There has to be a difference, and let's make sure we, as children of God, would live that difference. And I think people appreciate distinctions. I think people appreciate that which is unique, and the children of God are the children of God. And as even to bring up a point that I made last night as I close with this, we are a peculiar people. We're a royal priesthood, and we are different. And we should live that difference because, first, God's made the standard. And number two, there should be a difference. There should be a difference. So, hope that helps you today. We'll see you tomorrow as we look a little bit further into the book of Leviticus. Hope you have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow on February the 1st. Have a great day.